Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Man Monday. I'm your host, Mr. Mountain Man, and I am coming to you live from the mountains of Western North Carolina. This is LiveStream episode number 97. Today is November the 29th, 2021. I'm glad to have you here this evening. All the regulars that always show up and anybody new who might be listening. If you feel like doing it, feel free to chat in the YouTube chat or afterwards put a comment in. Let us know how it's going with you. And as we always say, hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. It is post Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had a wonderful turkey day. One of my favorite holidays, as I said last week. It is just about food and family and just relaxing and starting kind of unofficially of the Christmas season, although you wouldn't know it because a lot of places start Christmas about the day after Halloween. It's really nice to be in this time of the year. Don't want it to go too fast. Never want any time of the year to go really too quickly, but really extra special time of the year. Hopefully can ratchet it down, slow down, enjoy the moment, because before you know it, not being depressing, it'll be January 1st and we'll be into the thick of winter time post-holiday season. So really like to not rush things and enjoy it right now. Didn't go anywhere for the holidays. I mean, did a day trip to Dollywood to go see the parks the day before Thanksgiving, which we'll talk more about later. And also was just here and cooked a bunch of food. I did post some pictures on Instagram, which we'll look at, and just enjoyed. And then other than that, it was just being kind of busy, as it is with a family with kids and lots going on. So it was a pretty full weekend of a lot of, random odds and ends after the Thanksgiving holiday itself. And so happy to be here this Monday evening and hope you are all as well. I see a few people have already rolled in here. We have Leah Wood here. How are you doing today? Doing well. Glad to have you here. Hope you are doing right. Didn't think it would happen today. Well, so the norm around here, even though I understand as far as being popular to the masses, this is a terrible time slot, 9:30 Eastern. But again, as a family man, I have to yield to my responsibilities first, which I don't do begrudgingly. I love it and I want to help out. But that usually means that I go on later when things get settled. But that's fine. Everybody, it's 9:30 Eastern, but 8:30 Central, and back it on up across the time zones. Hopefully we can grow a little bit of an audience over time and folks are enjoying. Yes, no, I'm still here. And hopefully you're here. What I do, Dr. J, is because my internet's kind of, as we see sometimes, getting this machine started and the live stream initiated, but not actually streaming, seems to help overall with everything. It allows everything to get buffered and set up and updated and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And by the time I start the live stream, it's usually in pretty good condition. Pastor Dan and Kim, welcome to the live stream. How am I doing tonight? I am doing well. I hope you are as well. Hello, Mom and Dad. I hope you are doing well. And just talked to you the other day and happy to have you here. And I send my love to you guys in Ohio. Thanksgiving was great. Kind of gave a little intro there on how it went. And I really enjoyed it. Again, I love that holiday. We had we cook way too much, but we do it purposefully because I like leftovers. I'll eat the same meal. That meal is so diverse. I will eat the same meal 3 days in a row. I mean, maybe a little different something for breakfast, but I was even still eating some leftover sides today. And so I like Thanksgiving. So we cooked like a 24-pound turkey and certainly didn't need that because we didn't have anybody visit us. So it was just us and we had plenty of leftovers, made very large sides. I posted some pictures as I had mentioned. So coming in loud and clear tonight. That's great. That means that the process I do, again, if you all see the live stream notification, but you don't see this smiling face talking, that's usually the pre-show, where I'm getting ready. Usually I initiate it anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes before it's going to actually happen. But that's kind of the cue, like they used to do in the theater where they start blinking the lights to let you know the show's about to start. It's very good and cold in Virginia. spent my Thanksgiving there, was between 20s and 50s up there. Yeah. Well, it's been pretty cool here in Western North Carolina as well. I mean, we've been dipping into the 20s at night, and during the day, 40s and 50s, some maybe 60. But because the days are short as far as sunshine this time of the year, you get, it's weird. It's probably like a lot of other places, but it gets quite warm and comfortable, but it quickly tapers when the sun goes down. And I mean, quickly, it can go down 15 degrees like that in the matter of 2 hours. And so, very different, disparity in the temperatures this time of the year, between the sun and then going to nighttime. I enjoy your live streams. They're informational. Absolutely glad to have you here. And I certainly do have the news and notes, and going to be coming up here a bit later. Woohoo, Mr. Mountain Man, going to let us know Monday live stream how Western North Carolina is gearing up for the 2021. Whoops, I'm banging things up. Holiday season. We'll get the smile in here with the Mr. Mountain Man hammer. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Thanks, Foxy. Glad to have you here, and hope you are doing well. Rita's here. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man. It looks like your Thanksgiving meal pictures. Great meal. Glad to see you doing good here. Great. So if Dr. J is still here, I watched the video where you guys went and visit. That looks cool. You went to the pizza place, and but I don't, unless I missed something, I don't think you guys actually talked on video. There was a still picture. I had to go back, and I almost missed it and take a look. But if there was a video where you were talking or being recorded, let me know. But I watched the pizza one, the review of the pizza place, which looked really good. I got real hungry after I was watching that. By the way, went to Western Kentucky Old Home and missed seeing the mountains the whole time. It's so flat there. I feel the same way. Every time I leave and go somewhere that's flat, I really miss the dynamic, topography, I guess, of the land, the mountains and the valleys and the beautiful views. I mean, when I lived in Florida, I mean, some folks really enjoy the beach, and it's very pretty, but other than that, it's flat. It's really, really, really flat. And so I certainly can appreciate that comment and know exactly what you're talking about. Ted and Deborah Harrison, good evening, Mr. Mountain Man, and everyone in the chat. Hello to you all. Have you guys noticed that some of the emojis show up black and white? They used to show up color. Well, they show up color in my chat. They just show up in black and white. As I lubricate my talking box here. But yeah, I don't know. I just noticed they show up black and white. Let me try another one. Yeah, so like that one is color in the chat. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We had some snow yesterday. That's really cool. Yeah, I had seen when I watched some football this past weekend, which was absolutely atrocious. Terrible, terrible weekend for that. But it had been snowing up in the Midwest, so I wondered what folks are getting it. I mean, we're definitely getting a little bit of early taste of winter in parts of the country. Just cold there. Okay. Don't come to South Georgia. Flat is not your cup of tea. I can't remember if I asked this before, Foxy, but thinking of like South Carolina and South Georgia, and used to drive through South Georgia quite a bit. I really like those native pine trees, the tall ones that are in that part of the country. So even though you're flat, I think you have to let me know if you have those, where they grow wild and they're 3 stories tall. Need prayers, please. Going to get injections on December 6th in a lot of pain. Okay, debating on missing the live tonight, but I'm here. Hey, Leah, do please always do what makes you feel the most comfortable and the happiest. Like if being here makes your day a little better, A+. But if you have to miss it, no problem at all. Just relax, and want you to be in great shape. It was a misstep on my part. We really should have Rita and her grandson in on the interview or the review. Don't worry. Next time we get together, we will be interviewing Rita. Absolutely. And I think that was a Thursday, which would have been very difficult for me to get over to that part of town with work and family. Has to be the weekend pretty much. But if that happens again, and if I know like a month out, we should try to make something work. let's see. I get involved in having conversations and forget sometimes that we were recording a video. Yeah, and you know what? That's not a bad thing. That's natural. Like, I don't know about you on your channel, but this can become a problem. Not I say that very lightly, become a problem, but I have noticed since I've started my YouTube channel, and I've gotten much better about this, but like every single occasion and and you guys might be like, what are you talking about, Mr. Mountain Man? You don't have that many videos on your channel. But the reality is, like I mean, some of the videos I've made, like Myrtle Beach, I mean, pretty much every single place we went, I was recording something or thinking about it. So when you start going to new neat places and everything you're thinking about is how do I shoot this angle and that angle? And if it's just a hobby, it can create some fatigue around that. So the point being is that if you're just having a normal conversation and you're forgetting that you're supposed to be recording, A plus, because otherwise it can become a little bit overbearing, just that whole balance thing. That's all. Southern Pines reached Jupiter and as big around as Saturn. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And I love the smell. And like you said, I don't remember if you said you can get the pine needles free, just scrape them off the floor there below the trees, or you still buy them. But yeah. How are you on long? Or I got tongue twisted there. How long are you going to be on tonight? Just wondering. I am usually on about 90 minutes, give or take 15 minutes. That's usually how long it goes. So if you need to take a break or leave, and remember, this is being recorded, and so you can always watch the live stream later. Yes. And so glad to have everybody here again. Another warm welcome to anybody who might be new on the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel. We get some folks that I'll get a comment every once in a while from somebody I've never seen on here, like, oh, I love the live stream. So talking to those folks, and a lot of you regulars, we don't see them either. They just, I get a random comment on some live stream. Somebody will be like, yes, we love it, but we just don't chat or listen on a Roku or listen 2 days later. So I know people enjoy it. And I really do think there would be more of an audience for this. I've mentioned about 50 times, there's groups on Facebook that basically just cookie cutter, like other popular places, where people ask so many questions about, like, say, East Tennessee, like Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge. There are people on there's, the mountain groups and the Blue Ridge groups and other things that are just, what do I do? And we're going to Maggie Valley, or we're going to Grandfather Mountain, or we're going to be driving through Asheville. What do we do? And what waterfalls and this and this and that. And, but people don't know about the channel. So, but anyway, a warm welcome again to everybody that is here. I have the same issues. We decided not to record anything in Kentucky. I failed. Did record a video of a creepy bridge. That's cool. It is, because like, now I can't, I know you through YouTube, but I don't know you personally. So I can only gather, but it appears to me that your wife and daughter enjoy the YouTube process. It seems to be. Around these parts, it's a mixed bag on how much people like the YouTubes. It's not something negative, and it's especially the family really enjoys that I'm doing a positive thing. This people enjoy it, and of course, donating the money I make to charity and stuff like that. But when you have a lot of little kids, and with that, and if you guys don't remember that stage, impatience and wanting to enjoy the moment, having to slow things down for something that daddy's doing, can be, it can kind of, it just doesn't go with the flow. And so I've mentioned this before. So sometimes that's why you see me yonder off by myself. Sometimes I am with the family. Sometimes I'm with a select part of the family. I think my wife wouldn't have any problem, if it was like that, but we always have the kids with us. So sometimes I try, but I'm getting a lot better, like, at being sleuth about it, and not making it like overly impact. Obviously trying to get the kids involved to shoot the camera angles and stuff and help out. But yeah, definitely. That's why the Eclectic Candyman is like 20 times easier, because I don't do, I do have a couple videos in the can for on location, but for the most part, that channel is all done out of the garage or around the house and stuff. So this channel is a little bit more difficult. But anyway, glad you enjoyed your trip. Sold author visiting me. I've got arthritis very bad in my hips. Again, prayers for you. And I hope you are feeling better, Leah. I might say hope faith every once in a while. I get names ingrained. We're having a beautiful fall so far. Mostly sunny days. Nights get really cold, but I'm inside, so that doesn't matter, right? You know, and if I'm repeating a story, so be it. But not long ago, driving through Nashville on a clear night after the time change, and it's so crazy where that East Coast Central line kind of over there, because when it starts to get dark this time of the year, you know, us East Coasters that say, oh, it gets dark at 5:30 or whatever. I was driving through Nashville on a clear day, so it wasn't overcast, like making it darker than normal. And it was like 4:30, 4:45, and it was getting seriously dark. And that's because you're getting really far east, but you haven't changed time zones yet. And so it's kind of like, you know, you get a little bit more, and once you cross that East Coast timeline, okay, it's dark at 5:30, but you know, 100 yards that way, that means it's getting dark at 4:30. And so that part of Central Tennessee and moving over east, that's in Central time zone, it sure does get dark early. And I can't imagine if it was a gloomy day, it'd probably feel like it was getting dark at about 3:45. You'll have to let me know. My main issue is I compare a channel to some others, and they seem to grow pretty rapidly, and we're in the slow lane. You know, all of us. I mean, it's it's a funny thing. If you really do a case study of successful channels, and I'm not just talking about travel, anything, look at the ones kids enjoy. Look at the major channels, like way off the charts, like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast or, Brent TV, or, other people with millions of subscribers, fitness channels, Disney channels, travel channels, handyman channels, tool channels, electronic review channels. And if you look at the pedigree of those channels, and you look at their success, there's some reoccurring elements in there. Quality is typically a pretty high one. Interesting topics, interesting people, doing things that people want to search up and want to see. And then of course, everybody, tries to say, oh, I'm fighting the YouTube algorithm and all this stuff. But I think if, and sometimes people get lucky with a catalyst. Like I've seen some smaller channels that will do a one-off on something that's not like of their, like, let's say I had this travel channel like Mr. Mountain Man, but I did like a review on like a new cell phone or something, just as a one-off, or how to, do something, I don't know, they used to call it like jailbreak an iPhone, or, something random, but like just went crazy and had like 500,000, 2 million, 3 million views, but you're a little tiny channel. It's enough to drive traffic for people to raise an eyebrow, go, what's this person doing? And sometimes that'll help kind of grow a channel too. But but I think the important thing is I think a lot of us say it, but I don't know how many people really believe it. Like you do this for fun. If the outcome is not fun, then I hear everybody say that, like, do it for fun, do it because you like it. But I think secretly, I think the real truth is nobody's happy unless they're really successful. I think that's the truth. I think that people want a lot of subscribers, a lot of views. If it gets into monetization, make money, be successful, be popular. It feels like that's the truth behind YouTube. I don't, and I've even said it too, like, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is reaching an audience, because to me, my time is more valuable, I think, than money at this stage of my life. Not that I'm not saying that money's, I'm just trying to make like a metaphorical kind of comparison, that if I'm spending time on this and people aren't enjoying it, that's a problem, because I can't do things in a vacuum. So yeah, anyway, I enjoy talking, kind of small channel YouTube stuff with others because I think we all kind of have those same kind of small mountains to climb, and we all have to do it in different ways. So great comment there. Let's see. Yes, welcome. I appreciate thumbs up or likes or whatever you want to do, hitting Christmas bells to subscribe, all that fun stuff. But I think the group here is pretty much all in already. Arthritis only happens on cold and rainy days. Yes, I have heard that, and I had a broken arm when I was a kid, and every once in a while, my arm will be pain. I wonder if it's that. Girls enjoy the adventures, not so much the editing parts. It's mainly a hobby for us as a family, right? Do you do all the editing, like as far? I'm just getting back in focus. As far as that nobody edits, obviously, except for me. I've encouraged my kids to do YouTube channels, but yeah. I'm glad Dr. J thought of taking pictures while we were there. I didn't even think of that. I was so excited about meeting him. Great. We, goes back to the comment, not only YouTube, but social media. Like, the whole world's like, I got to capture this moment and tell everybody about it. No, you don't, just enjoy the people you're with. And, I think that's basically what I'm saying is what you guys did was A+. I was just saying it'd be cool to hear you guys talk, but that was it. Dr. J's channel is really good. Anyone who hasn't seen it yet is missing out on some fun. Lots of good videos over there on our show, Our Story. It's fine if you call me Hope Faith. It actually has a story behind it. Yeah, I'm gonna be back and forth on that. There is a difference in quality and quantity of what you put out. I say that quality content that you can be proud of is what counts. Yeah, I think that quality seems to be, it's funny though, because dare I say, little old me, that some channels that get away with somewhat raw content that's not so refined. And listen, I say it knowing I'm small, but like, what's the Carpetbagger and the other one, Adam the Woo, believe it or not, their approach at aggressive delivery, a lot of times I'll see them like just holding the cell phone or their camera. There's no music. There's kind of rough transitions. Hey, but they have the other parts. They're delivering interesting quality content. Like, Adam the Woo will go to like where Back to the Future was filmed or where National Lampoon's Vacation. People want to see that. So if he's a little rough around the edges or holding the camera or doesn't have any background music or, rough transitions and stuff, nobody cares because they're there to see it. And he's an interesting person. So those things trump the maybe some of the other things. So some people can get away with it. I think on the smaller channel here, I got to bring out the whole shebang. It's got to be gimbal. It's got to be a good cut quality video. It's got to be interesting. It's got to be everything or nobody. I'm going to get, hardly any views. It is interesting like that. I appreciate the chats. If we're talking about the YouTube thing, I do too. I enjoy that. It might bore some people that aren't creators, but for those of you that aren't and might not, it's this medium that we're delivering this content, these live streams and videos, it's quite a bit of work. And I think that is the little secret, is that nobody wants to admit that everybody wants to be good at it and successful. And I think there's kind of this like curve I've talked about, this bell curve with amateur channels. That's like, at first it's extremely invigorating and exciting. And you get 20 subscribers, you don't care. Like 20 people are listening to me and this is great. And look at me, I put videos out, and then it stalls out sometimes. Some people get wildly successful very quickly. Not typically with travel channels that I've seen. The people who tend to take off are doing content behind the mic. They're, reviewing, video games or commenting on video games or animation or pop culture, probably in the millennial generation, a lot of things like that are connecting with young people. And tend to be very successful. But back to the typical amateur YouTube channel, there's like this euphoria period, then it stalls out, and then you start to question, like, is this worth it? I'm spending a lot of time. I'm getting 18 views on this video, and nobody's listening. So yeah, It's hard to say what people like to watch. I usually get caught up in people's personality, and that's the ones I watch because I feel close to them. And that's exactly right. I think that the reality is that you have to be charismatic. You have to have a good personality that people can connect with. I am not saying that I do or don't, but for others, that if you look at your array, folks of YouTube channels, typically the person is humorous or interesting or articulates well or goofy or entertaining or something, but they are not dry and boring. And those ones are, that tends to be a difficult challenge when that piece is missing. I like the personal care that some of the smaller channels give over getting lost on larger channels. Yeah, I follow this Disney channel where it's a teacher at like a public school and his sister, and they covered Disney like mad. It's called Resort TV One, and their channel exploded. They're extremely popular. They live stream a lot. I don't watch them that much because they just pour out like a bazillion hours of content at Disney World. But people love it because if they can't be at the parks, they love their channel. Anyway, the guy, I remember this was like 2 years ago. It was at the gym. I was on the treadmill. I was like, let me watch some. They live stream, or he came on or something. Or maybe the title of the video was like, I need to apologize. And he's like, I'm burnt out. He's like, I can't keep up with my job. I think he said like my family, and every night I'm promising a video and it's just too much. And people were very supportive of him. But the point I was going with that is once you become a larger channel, that cloud hanging over you of responsibility to the community, becomes, ever pressing. I already don't like it when, if you all could only see how full my days are, that when I, might sit down to watch TV at 11:30 at night or something like that, I feel uneasy if I've got a backlog of content that I need to edit for YouTube. And that's not a terrific feeling. And it's like, it feels like homework. And it shouldn't. So I keep it in check, but it is something I do that does happen. I know like shock factor videos or clickbait. Yeah. The shock factor videos, some of the ones my kids listen to where they scream into the mic and, they've got like a little, like, so see this screen right here, they might have this part, like be like a video game or something they're looking at, and they'll commentate on it. Like, what's her name's SS Sniper Wolf. She's got a bazillion subscribers, and that's all she does is she just commentates on stuff, and her charisma and humor is what makes her extremely wildly popular, on top of crystal clear 4K delivery in an incredible studio. I mean, you're talking about the clearest of clear, like anybody who does behind the mic type stuff. That's critical. But anyway, that's kind of in that shock factor stuff, where every single thumbnail is like this. Like you guys go to the main page of YouTube if you sign out, and you'll see all these thumbnails like, and then it's just a caption of something like, it's all, but it works, man. You look at it and it's like, released yesterday, 1.3 million views. Woo! They know what they're doing. I can't say anything about it. I just know what they're doing. I do all the editing on my phone, Power Director. It takes me half an hour or so to edit. Uploading is another beast. Yeah, uploading around here takes days because our internet is awful. So what I usually do is transfer it to my phone and then upload when I'm out and about on cell network, which is faster. I do not edit on the phone. I did one video ever, two. The bicycle tire one, if anybody's ever seen that, back on the Eclectic Candyman, and the airplane taking off from the Asheville airport was done on a phone. Other than that, I use a big computer. Editing to me is just too complicated for me to do it on a little tiny phone. But I know people do it. I wasn't supposed to live past 5 years old. Now I'm 31. So there's hope that I would live in faith because I'm still here with you guys. That is the best name ever, then. Hope Faith. That totally makes sense. So happy to have you here. What a wonderful and beautiful story. And I think it's a great name. Leah Wood is cool too, but if you like Hope Faith, I think you can bounce back and forth on YouTube. So I think that's fantastic. And yeah, we are glad and thankful for you. And I think you had mentioned this before, but you sound like you really get out and enjoy, and you're very knowledgeable and super sweet and kind. So we appreciate having you here. These TikTok dances and such that stop traffic and cause such issues for others just need to go away. I didn't know about TikTok stopping traffic, but it doesn't amaze. I have not gotten into TikTok. I see it, but I haven't gotten into it. It's just another time sink. I hate. I don't want to date myself. I just that I might have missed the boat a little bit on that. I'm not real heavy, believe it or not, into social media anyway. I'm pretty small footprint outside of what you guys see here on YouTube and Instagram. Really, really small footprint. But anyway, I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I didn't read your comment, but I'm like that. A little too old. I do not watch TikTok, but it's everywhere. You cannot seem to get away from it. I know a lot of people like to, copy, like there'll be a trend and they want to do the same trend. And the one thing I will say about it, I'll say about these social media outlets, this is my opinion. But you all can inform me if I'm wrong. Instagram, TikTok, I wouldn't put Twitter in that, but those two, Instagram and TikTok, the reason I don't have a problem with them, I feel like I'm missing a big one. Snapchat. They tend to be pretty goofy and positive, maybe a little self-centered. I mean, the world's becoming that way, but they tend to be pretty lighthearted, or fun. Whereas Facebook probably was the bane of toxicity in 2020 and absolutely helped rip this country in half on political issues and other mainstream issues because of the dialogue that you could create. I also think that Facebook market share tends to be an older audience that is a little bit more invested in things like political issues and family and current events and stuff. So it was a really hotbed for nastiness. And so it's nice when you get to these other mediums and all you can do is post like a little tiny video or a little picture of, breaking an egg or, something goofy and lighthearted, makes people laugh and smile or gets people happy. That's a good thing. But Facebook's a mix. You really got to sift through. And then, there's, been some talk, and I've seen some documentaries that even some of the programmers, that they try to program the algorithms to actually get things to pop up that will kind of irritate you, which will keep you on Facebook. So if they know you were, politically one way or the other, they'll try to bring up like a news article, because that's how they make money on advertising. They'll try to bring up a news article that they know has sentiment towards the other way to kind of get you to look at the comments and get you fired up. That's awful. Like to try to bait people to keep people on your platform. Anyway, that's the one thing that I've taken a step back, and I don't mind those other social media platforms. I don't use them, but if they're a little goofier and a little more lighthearted, to me, that's all good stuff. Hey, Living Like Larry, how you doing? Glad to have you here. Welcome from the West Coast. Maybe you just had dinner. Oh, actually, are you back out west? Let us know. Sorry about your disability. Happy you were here with us. That is the I second and third, and everybody here says that. Yes and yes about Facebook. Yeah, Facebook was pretty rough last year. Like, one thing I found on Facebook, well, I'll tell you a story. Well, the one thing I found on Facebook was that the groups tend to be a little more enjoyable, kind of like if you get on like a tool group or a car group or like a hobby, like a bowling group, like something like that. Those tend to be pretty good. Although I have found a couple of groups that were kind of like, you get some admins in there with a power trip and you post stuff and then they remove it. And anyway, just Facebook in general has a lot of issues. On my phone, I put, but to be honest with you, to remind myself, you can create folders in Android, and I put Twitter and YouTube in a folder that's called Yuck. Just as a reminder before I open them up that they are kind of yuck. I've never been on Facebook and do not intend on being on there. The problem is, it's like the telephone back in the day, maybe a little bit, like, right? Like, people might've been like, I'm not going to get on a telephone. I don't want a telephone. Because there's, let's I'm making up a little bit of scenario. You know, there's spam callers, you know, and it's a bunch of garbage and people try to sell me stuff. People call me during dinner. I'm not going to have a telephone. I'm not talking about cell phones. I'm talking about a telephone. But then there's this other side of it. It's like, yeah, but that's where grandma calls and that's where Uncle Jimmy calls and your brother and your sister and your buddy. That's the thing about Facebook is that it's a means. It was a you know, one of the, you know, original purpose. Well, obviously it was back on campus at was at Harvard and you know, that story. But the point being is the early iteration of it was a really good platform to be like, hey, there's my cousins and there's my family and there's my friends from high school and let's connect and share the picture of the dog in front of the Christmas tree and stuff like that. But then it just mushroomed into this nuttiness. But there is still this kind of necessary evil to it. It's like, well, if you want to stay in touch, then it's kind of, you still kind of need it. So I don't have a very large footprint on Facebook. And again, I enjoy the groups more than I do, I think, the connecting part. But yeah, so anyway, you know, there's a little bit on Facebook. Fly back out west tomorrow, says Larry. Okay, I hope you have safe travels. One of the main reasons why we love YouTube so much is that, for the most part, full of positive people like you that are out there trying to make a difference in the world. It is because, you know, if somebody's, you know, spouting garbage or something like that, I don't know all of YouTube's rules, but they may pull videos down if people start to get really controversial or aggressive. Where it seems some of the verbal platforms or the mini video platforms don't, like Facebook and stuff like that. So I have come across a couple of weird videos on YouTube, but you give a quick thumbs down and then, you know, it doesn't get recommended anymore. Speaking of which, that small tangent, I did notice recently and I had to look it up, but I guess it was big news. I just don't pay attention. They removed the quantified tally of thumbs down in videos, which I think are fantastic. Because I know, like, for example, our friends over at Yankee in the South, there was a group of people who every time they'd get a video would go in and just be like, boom, 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 and try to make the thumbs down have a number. Now, I knew it never bothered them, but the point being is it kind of skewed the numbers. I like it because those people now, you know, they could do it, but it's not, nobody can see it. All they see is the thumbs up. I think it's a great thing. And I think it's fantastic. It basically takes away the satisfaction of weaponizing the thumbs down. The only caveat to that, I did hear, I think PewDiePie, when I Googled it or searched it on YouTube, he made a good point. Let's go over to the handyman side of things. If you pull up a video about changing an electrical outlet or something, and it has 22 thumbs up and 350 thumbs down, what does that tell you? It tells you that's a bad video. Like, don't follow those instructions because they're probably giving you some terrible advice. So it was a good visual to know if something was like bad, like truly like a bad video. So with that being removed, you have to kind of play a little more detective and scroll down to the comments and see if somebody's got, the first comment has 150 thumbs up, says, don't do it this way. That's an awful mechanism for installing a light switch or something like that. So I think giving a score 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10 would be my happy rating on them removing it. Maybe 9 out of 10, to believe it or not, with that one caveat that, yeah, I guess, you know, when I look up how to change something on the Mustang or something like that, I'm not going to be able to see if it's a junk video as quickly. But the YouTube search results should hopefully send me a more positive video that's been thumbs up than thumbs down. So I know that the creators can still go in and see the number in your metrics. So you can still get that true tally. But anybody who was trying to go in and be malicious about it, they can't do it. I mean, they can do it, but they're not going to see the fruits of their labor in the thumbs down column. And I think that's fantastic. So I'm really glad that YouTube did that. And YouTube didn't just make some decision at a boardroom table. They had done, you know, kind of a beta test on it to see how it was going to do. And overall, the results yielded to be positive. So I'm all for them that they removed the thumbs down tally. I watch Facebook. I don't like a person puts on, so don't watch them when they come back on. Right. And I mentioned that about Twitter not too long ago. And one of my friends said the same thing. Like, if somebody says something I don't like, I just block them. It tends to become a housekeeping nightmare because like on Twitter, they're always recommending like what somebody said. And so you're constantly having to weed it. I don't know. It's just kind of a pain, but I use Facebook, but it's just beachy. Yeah. Okay. Like just light stuff is what you're saying pretty much. I usually read comments on how-to videos. Yeah. Just to give a gauge on if it's good or not. That you usually can. Like if you get the first one, it's like, man, this is the best video ever. Thank you so much. You know, now changing the brakes is really easy because of you. That's a great video, probably. I did that a long time ago. I did. You may not believe me, but I did. I went in there months ago and made it like that. So unless you're talking to somebody else, if you're talking to another channel, I made you blue. Or are you talking to Dr. J? I don't know. Yes, Foxy's right. You've been that way for several weeks. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe YouTube took a while. Like I put the blue wrench and had to put it in an envelope and send it to YouTube. You know, please put these people as we got one troll here a couple weeks ago, and it was pretty good because you guys were on top of it. But that's pretty cool. Okay, so it didn't show up, but it is here. Okay. Well, good. Episode 97, folks. Look at this. November the 29th. We're just about to hit Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving. We're about to hit it. No, we just had Thanksgiving. How was your all Thanksgiving? Did you guys have like a really good meal? I mean, like I said, I love Thanksgiving. And I'll say this about Thanksgiving, like we make that meal once a year. Well, we kind of do it twice. I pretty much at Christmas say we're going to do the exact same thing, but maybe do ham instead of turkey. Everything else is exactly the same. You can do that meal any time of the year. Like, why don't we do it more? But yeah, it was, you know, it's a tremendous meal. It is work. Like you might say, well, we don't do it more because it's a lot of work, but it's worth it because we had days and days of leftovers. It was almost like catering to ourselves. It was really cool. You love Thanksgiving this year. I'm glad you got to go home. You had mentioned you went to see your family, and it was really, really delicious. I don't know. I might have to mess around in the fridge and see if there's any leftover turkey. When I was cooking here, let me see if I can find it, guys. When I was cooking, I help cook a lot of the stuff. I don't do the turkey, but I do a lot of the sides. Oh, great. I just pulled up YouTube, and the thumbnail that it has me frozen on is awful. I'm like this. It's really bad. Let me see here. I'm going to drop a Thanksgiving documentary. I found this old 50. Yeah, here it is. It's called American Nostalgia 1950 Thanksgiving. Why don't they have a share link? Why can I not click that? Hold on. I probably messed up my video quality. All right, here we go. 1950s Thanksgiving nostalgia YouTube video. LOL. LOL. There we go. You don't have to watch the whole thing. I put this on in the background. It was hilarious because it was like this group that would like help people out, like tell them, you know, how to do the turkey and what temperature and, you know, how to stitch it back together. Like, actually, there were some pretty good tips in there about, you know, how to take the innards and sew it back up properly and put the legs together and do all that stuff. Anyway, I like old documentaries. So that was one of the first ones that came up, kind of to get in the Thanksgiving spirit. But anyway, we enjoyed Thanksgiving. Now we're getting a blast of snow. Just to remind me of what I'm missing. Right before you go back to the palm trees of California. Had a great meal and time with my family. A+. Do you cook, Rita, or does everybody bring something over, or does somebody else cook? Glad you were able to be home with the family. Yes, we had a great trip and lots of good food. A+. Even though I'm not blue in the comments, I still watch your back, Mr. Mountain, and everyone else's backs as well. Leah, if you want a blue wrench, you certainly can have one. I also don't deny that blue wrench is a kind of a sense of pride, which is fine by me. And I think one of the things about this from a user experience perspective is the reality is that a blue wrench stands out a lot more bold on a contrasting background than gray. So on the larger channels, being a wrench actually helps. But the purpose of the wrench is to be a moderator and to help, facilitate the stream. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. So, if there's work to do with the moderator, but around these parts, there's not a lot of work to do. So I removed one person as a moderator that I hadn't seen in like 8 months. The reason is just because I'm like, felt like housekeeping. It's like an old piece of mail that you don't need anymore. Put it in the recycle bin. But whoever wants to have one, you can have one. Hey, Mr. Mountain, everyone. Hello to you. Story has it. Glad you can be here. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. That's what we were talking about. Where is AZ Rock tonight? You know what? Everybody's got stuff going on. There's a few folks. We have like a few tiers here. We have people that are always here. And if they're not here, I get worried. And then we have this next tier of they show up maybe, every other time. And then we have another tier of people who show up like once every few months. And then we have another tier of people who show up like once a year or twice a year. Like, here's another person I haven't seen in a while. Kentucky Girl. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man and gang. Hello to you. What happened? We got Story Has in Kentucky Girl. Was there another live stream or something that ended and you guys came over here? Am I second best? That's just a joke, but glad to have you guys here. We were just talking about Thanksgiving and Kentucky Girl, hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while and hope things are going well in your neck of the woods. Same with you. Story has it. And anyway, at the 46-minute mark, let me get over to a little housekeeping for the week of November the 29th, 2021. So what do we have? Well, we still have multiple videos here, and I know you guys are tired of hearing me talk about them and not publish them, and I'm so sorry. There was a lot going on in the month of November. There's going to be a little bit going on here in this month as well. So I will do my best, and I know you guys know that. But some of these videos I take are like, I go into the editing software and there's like 40 clips, and you don't just go boom, 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 publish. I mean, I have to watch and edit and cut and splice and all that stuff. It's just the way I make the video. So anyway, no excuse, but anyway, I still have some things on deck. So there's some exciting things to look forward to. I was trying to get out the little ankle biters I had recorded on Eclectic Candyman. I got 2 out. Those were super quick videos. I still have 3 or 4 or 5 creative or videos that are ready to be edited, and then probably 25 behind it that need to be shot and edited on that channel. Let's see what else. I would still like to do some lights. I was let's see, other housekeeping. I was at Dollywood this past Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit about that in the news, news notes. And what else? Got the Christmas tree up. I mean, that's housekeeping, but not for the Mr. Mountain Man channel. So yes, let's see. Let's go look at some pictures. Let me catch up on the comments before I do that. And Mr. Carlos. Yes, I don't know where Mr. Carlos is. If you're watching this later, hello, Mr. Carlos. And AZ Rock. Oh, I hope your husband is better. Yes, he's okay now. Good to hear. Just a coincidence you guys showed up. Okay. I remember when some live streams would. The other thing that's depressing is when you're running a live stream as a small channel and then another bigger channel comes on and they're like, hey, you got to go. It's like, oh, man. But anyway, the reality of amateur YouTube. Thanksgiving meal is not all that special to me because I cook like this all the time, but I enjoy being with my family on these days. Good point. And if you're cooking like that all the time, whoever's getting on the other end of that is very lucky. Yes, we did miss you, Kentucky Girl. Oh no, I didn't edit them if we shot them. I never get them done. If I didn't edit them as we shot them, I'd never get them done. Oh yeah. No, 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 no. In my neck of the woods, it's like a 16-step process. First, come up with where I'm going to do it. 2, make the time to make it happen. 3, shoot the video. 4, transfer the 25 files from here to the big computer. 5, start the video editing. 6, do the editing. That's the big one. 7, go through the monumental upload process. 8, put in all the metadata. 9, publish and enjoy. And then back to step 1 again. But anyway, yeah. So, all right, let's look at some pictures here. Hold on. Let's get it up. Let me get to the first picture and share the screen. All right. Well, looks like I was all right. Here we go. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Hold on. I'm clicking in the wrong spots here. Share. And here we go. Okay. First up, Larry says he has 8 videos that need edited. So welcome. Yes, I know you're in the same world. You're in the same boat. What quick question for you, when you're traveling for work, do you just edit on like a secondary computer? Are you like me that has like see, my main computer has a really good video card for uh, processing high resolution video. In fact, I built up the computer to be able to handle it so that it would, produce high quality content. That's the problem. If I don't have that computer accessible, is that it's more difficult for me to edit videos. And thank you for the Instagram account. Yes, that's at Mr. Mountain _man. All right. So let's look at these pictures over here. Put some words to these pictures. Yeah. So we went to Dollywood on Wednesday, and some of you who follow here, had seen these. My thinking was 2 weeks out. I said, I'm off Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Most people are traveling from A to B on Wednesday. They got to get to grandma's. They got to get to their uncles or brothers. They're shopping. Wednesday might be a good day to go to Dollywood. Friday's going to stink, but because everybody, doesn't go to Black Friday is going to go to Dollywood. But Wednesdays kind of should be the calm before the storm. Let's go to Dollywood. Oh my gosh. There was a series of stinkers. First of all, I-40 from Asheville to why isn't that picture on there, by the way? Oh, no, I posted that later. I-40 from Asheville over to like the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area in the gorge. The gorge is the curvy part in North Carolina. It went down to 1-lane highway. And the GPS, while we were leaving Asheville, kept telling me to go north on I-26 and over 70. That's a weird way. We don't go that way. And I'm like, what's the matter with the GPS? I put in the wrong address or something. Well, sure enough, I'm glad I did make that change because it was going to be like a 2-hour traffic jam. So we went way up about and still got in traffic in Newport, Tennessee, and finally got out. And then we got to the parks. Got to the parks and parked out in basically at the airport in Pigeon Forge. Any of you that are from that area would understand that joke. I mean, it was all splash country. We were way out there. I do know they have some parking lot construction going on, which probably skewed it, but we were super far out. The trams were not running that often. We actually walked from splash country to the entrance of the park, which is about a mile. But anyway, as we were walking in the parking lot, I saw this. So, listen, I have nothing but positive stuff to say about my experience this year, the first year at Dollywood. It's an incredible place. I have always loved Dolly Parton. I think she's an incredible humanitarian, and what she does with her celebrity status and being able to do positive things is beyond awesome. So I can't say anything negatively, but sticking to the theme park, this was a little bit of a black eye day. It wasn't their shining moment. You would probably, at least in my experience, never see something like this at Disney World. This would be completely unacceptable. This is like what I've seen at the national parks before. We've talked about, I just didn't have a picture, where, people just keep dumping more and more and more. Somebody made a comment about that season cup there, but it's not the season cup. The yellow's the daily, but still, they threw that away. So yeah, it was kind of, and then when you got in the park, it was droves of people. Like things like Thunderhead that normally have a 0 to 5 minute wait had like 45 or 50 minutes. So I was wrong. Wednesday was absolutely slam packed, and a lot of people had the exact same idea. They were extending vacations. They were there for the whole week. It's a terrible day to go to Dollywood. So yeah, that was not too awesome. Let me see. Let me stay with the comments here. I try to be on Wi-Fi Monday nights for Mr. Mountain Man. I think I missed one episode in 3 months. That's A plus. Glad to have you here. I have a new laptop, but awful internet since I've been on the road. That's tough. That's tough to do your uploads then. Sad for Dollywood. Yeah, it's it's not their shining star moment. Otherwise, I've had nothing but positive experiences. The staff are super kind. They're doing a great job, just like Disney does, that they are coaching their frontline people that are out in the parks to be extraordinarily hospitable. I have been to other lower tier theme parks like Carowinds and others where people, start to get cranky and stuff like that. I have not had that experience at Dollywood. It was nasty. It was awful. Yeah, it was packed. And as I mentioned, we love Dollywood, but the past 2 years have been extremely hard on them. The pandemic, I'm sure, like anybody, like, Disney as a public company, SeaWorld, Cedar Fair Entertainment, all of them. I mean, took a hit, but this year it's been like the rubber band effect, went one way, then snap back the other way. Everybody was bored of quarantine. So they go out to the parks, and it's just, everybody's got it pent up. And, technically, even though with inflation, the economy is good, people have money to spend. They want to go out, they're going on vacations. And so things are busy. Just a quick tangent about the editing, Kentucky Girl. I learned a ton of what I do with the software I do from YouTube. I just search for the appropriate thing, how to do such and such and such with such and such software. People have channels about editing software and teaching. So you can learn a lot. So if you don't have a firsthand person, I saw somebody at the library, you can learn from YouTube. It's a great way to do it. Going to hit the hay. I'm exhausted. See you next week. Hopefully, please post if you won't have an episode live in advance. Absolutely. I will post it on a community post if I do not have one. And glad to have you here, Leah. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. All right. Next up, there's the people. I don't know if you guys know, that's right by Blazing Fury, and behind me were the two bathrooms. But look at that. I mean, that is not a typical crowd for Dollywood that I usually see. And we've been going, this is probably our 8th or 10th time we went this year. I give or take, yeah. Yes, that's true, Rita. It was way more. And it was absolutely just jam-packed right there. So remember how I told you we had to take the roundabout way? Well, we kept looping in and out of the French Broad River in North Carolina. Gorgeous drive. It was the whole time I'm like, this is where you got to take a fall drive, like out 70 off I-26 that curls around and goes over towards Newport, Tennessee. Was really, really pretty. And this picture right here, it just didn't, it doesn't do it justice there. What my eyes were looking at was like a postcard. It was really cool. And so I wanted to, at least take some positive pictures here. This was at Dollywood. That was a beautifully lit tree to the Christmas music. There's a nice picture down the main walk off to the right as you come in from the park. And here's another picture. And then we did end up going to about 15 minutes late. We didn't care, to this. 'Twas the night before Christmas. It's nice that they have live shows, and this is part of the nice part about being at Dollywood. In fact, I told the family, they weren't too thrilled, some of the kids, about it, but I said, hey, when we go, we really should concentrate on the shows and the seasonal activities. We can go on the roller coasters and the rides anytime we want. That kind of fell on deaf ears, but let's see. Yeah. And then the Thanksgiving starts. We always, cook those Pillsbury cinnamon rolls in the morning just to kind of get something going. But the problem is that because we went to Dollywood the day before, we left the park and then tried to find something to eat. We ended up at like McDonald's, and I actually went into Food City and just got a loaf of bread and meat from the deli and made sandwiches in the car. I was so hungry, and nobody's open late past like 9:30 or 10 o'clock. Anyway, it put us home at like 1:30. 1:30 technically Thanksgiving morning. It wasn't happening waking up at 6 or 7 and start working on that turkey. So we had a very late, lazy morning. Watched the Macy's Day Parade and then got it going. There's some stuff there, you know, for all the, this wasn't everything, but it was all piled up in the corner. So it was, you know, some of the food I didn't actually need the brown sugar because the pumpkin pie mix that I bought was the easy pumpkin pie mix, which I actually think tasted better, believe it or not, than the regular mix where you have to add the brown sugar and the ingredients. That easy mix was delicious with those graham cracker pie crust. It was really, really good. I made the pumpkin pie. It was the easy mix, so can't take a bunch of credit, but it worked. And there was the turkey that my wife did. It was really yummy, delicious. I wish we still had some more turkey. Oh, and there was some of the sides. Green bean casserole. That's like a cheesy potato casserole. That cheesy potato casserole in my family, we call it like Rick's potatoes because my Uncle Rick liked them. But I think my mom got that out of the Columbus Dispatch like 35 years ago or something like that. Anyway, it's like the ingredients are 2-pound bag of hash browns, a 16-ounce carton of sour cream, a cup of shredded cheese, a can of cream of chicken, like a cup of minced onion, a stick of butter, and you mix all that stuff together, and then you top it with crushed cornflakes on top. I don't think I forgot any of the ingredients. And you bake it for 45 minutes at like 350. That stuff is off the charts delicious. I mean, it's not good for you at all, but anytime you've got cheese and sour cream and butter kind of mixed together, it is so good. Oh, and you mix some fresh ground pepper in with it all too. It's just very good. Then the other one on the left was sweet potato casserole, and the one in the back was green bean casserole. The trick for green bean casserole, in my opinion, is you can never have enough of the dried onions, the crispy French dried onions. The years we shortchange it, it's just not the same. Whatever the recipe says, put more in the bake and put more on the top. It is so delicious. I am not the cook. I only do the grill, but I know what I know. And I think on that front, that's a good idea. All right, let me see if anybody said anything over here. Let's see. The app, our show's story use for editing is super easy. Read, I'm not a computer expert. I just had fun making videos, but no special effects. Again, Kentucky Girl, lots of free content on YouTube. You can definitely learn at your own pace and pause and all that. Great advice. That's where I've learned as well. Yeah, YouTube. Well, it's just like the Eclectic Candyman. That's why I put that stuff out there, because I know it helps people, and it does, and people get really appreciative of it. It was packed. Dollywood was super packed. And Dr. J says that you can't stand days like that. You can't have fun. End up just feeling like cattle. There were times when we were Disney World annual passes where I was looking down Main Street. We had, like a double stroller, and it was wall to wall people. I mean, a thing like I had never seen before, like absolutely out of this world. But we always went on Saturdays because I didn't want to take a day off work. And Saturday, so as soon as the fireworks were done, everybody would leave and go to the monorail to get back to the parking lot at the Magic Kingdom. So I've experienced those park crowds, and it does, like, if you're a season pass holder, your tolerance for those types of things goes way down. If it is your one trip to Dollywood or to Disney or some other thing, you probably aren't paying attention to stuff like that because you're like, oh, it's our, once in 10-year trip to the mountains or to Florida or something like that, or 5-year trip. And you just, you go with the flow and, oh, this is an experience, and look at the lights and all that. It's interesting when you become a season pass holder. You're like, I could be here anytime. This stinks. when am I going to make the next bus or the next tram, or, this line is too long. It's crazy. Yes, my other channel, The Eclectic Candyman. Thank you for posting that. If anybody happens to be interesting. Larry sent me help a while back on email. Appreciate that. Yes. Do your best. Absolutely. Food. It's a lively live stream now. Absolutely. I got to have some food. I didn't have a food article, but I got this. We got the huge Costco pie. I have done that before. We've bought the pie. I don't know. Just once a year, I'm like, I'll just do the easy bake. It was like, pour the can in, put 2 eggs, after you've beat the eggs, and carnation milk, or what it the carnation white milk, condensed milk, and then you just pour it in the pies. It was really easy. Yes, it was very good. It tasted as good or better. Ooh, Thanksgiving chili, Southern style cornbread. Now there's a nice twist. A lot of people have good conversations around what things do you have for Thanksgiving that are like not traditional. And a lot of people say those non-traditional dishes. I think we're pretty generic, like crescent rolls and cranberry sauce and turkey and stuffing, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, sweet potato, very, very generic. Yes, a Mountain Man Monday live stream without food makes 1 week. I make a different green bean casserole, no condensed mushroom soup. Okay, yeah, we follow that, the generic recipe, pretty straightforward. I would like to have some chili. One of the kids was telling my wife the other day, needs to make some chili. Do people down south make the green bean casserole, or is that something you took from up here? We had green bean casserole growing up. We did. My mom made that in Ohio. So yeah. Yeah. That was not a Southern thing. When I edit, I use my phone. That way I can use my camera, edit, upload, never have to transfer all that data. Right. It is nice. That is the advantage of that. Don't care for green bean casserole, but I love green beans. Yeah. I guess the one thing that maybe people may not like about green bean casserole, if I had to gather or venture to guess, would be it is kind of a slimy texture because of that cream of mushroom. So, somebody might be like, oh, it's like a little gross. But the more of those onions you put in there, the more it thickens up and it becomes pretty nice. It's a nice base. Well, I'm halfway with you on that story. I like white meat. Dry white meat, I've eaten so much of it because we, dry chicken and, reheated turkey tends to be dry in the microwave. But I do like the breast meat. My mom used to say that basically everybody in the family wanted white meat and nobody really liked the dark meat. So she quit cooking the whole turkey and would just make the turkey breast on Thanksgiving. So I use Power Director 17 and I got it when they would still offer a perpetual license and they stopped. So I do not have to buy their Power Director 365 or whatever it is, and pay the subscription cost. They are smart to do that. All software companies need to move to the subscription-based model in order to be successful. It's just a fact. Everybody has done it. So it makes sense. But I got one of the last versions where you could buy a license. In fact, they're so stingy on it that I've kept the download files to install it, but you can't even go to my vault on Power Director's site and re-download it. It tells you like you're past the window of where you could download your software. It will allow me to download updates, but not the original thing. So if I ever lost those files, it's their way to say you better hold on to that, or, and the reason I haven't upgraded is there's no need to. There has been nothing that they've done revolutionary with the editing software that I need to update to their newest version. Made shredded chicken, and no one down there ever heard of it before. So I eat a bit of shredded chicken via the crock pot, where it simmers in the crock pot all day and then it gets shredded almost like a barbecue. I really enjoy it like that. I eat it like that a lot for lunch. My wife will put together, I should take a picture of what I eat for lunch. It's like rice, chicken, and broccoli. It's like a bodybuilder's diet. So, for all that, for all that I eat crappy, which is plenty. I mean, we went to Golden Corral and Sevierville recently, before Dollywood, and I eat junk, but I also, usually in the morning, as I mentioned, I'll have a steel cut oatmeal with flaxseed. And then for lunch, it's usually chicken, rice, and broccoli. And then for dinner, if we're not going out to eat, obviously it's usually something okay. But then, I have those times a week where I really, go to town. Love the white meat. Yes, you love the ham. Do not care for turkey. Yeah, a little bit of everything. Yeah, do the editing on their phone. This is definitely subjective. Like I heard, Dr. J said he likes it. I don't like with my finger trying to like go through and edit my videos. I have a hard time, but that's just me because again, like, like I think about my Myrtle Beach video. I swear that was like 100 clips over 7 days. And it took a lot of editing to try to get that right. But that's, that was, but then if you look at the putt-putt one, I don't know, that was probably 20 or 30 clips that I ended up doing. But that was in one one day or a couple hours. So yeah, whatever works is all that matters. I use Shotcut on the computer for free. Yep. We have ham too. Mom hates turkey. We'll have ham for Christmas. We'll do the one that has the brown sugar coating. I really like that. That's delicious. Can't do much on my phone to get eye strained. Yep. Well, happy birthday to you both. Is it on the same day? Are you guys December babies? I can sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dr. J and Ruby. Happy birthday to you. I hope you guys have a wonderful birthday. I hope you have a great cake. Make a donut cake. Get a good cake from Sam's Club, Costco, something. I love cake. Cake is good. All right, let me get yes, happy birthday to everybody here. First and the fourth. Happy birthday. That's 2 days from now. That is awesome. Yes, happy birthday. All right, let me keep moving along here. That's it for housekeeping for the week of November the 29th. 2021. Let me now move over here to news and notes for the week out of Western North Carolina for November the 29th, 2021. We will get right to this and away we go. Put the Mountain Man hammer away. Get a little bit of water. Hopefully Pastor Dan and Kim are able to stay awake and see because I know they enjoy this as well. But if not, you can watch it on delay. All right. First article up, winter weather forecast in Asheville, aka Western North Carolina, 2021. What do you think is going to happen? All right. Article starts off. Hey, Ashevilleans. I guess I'm an Ashevillean, by the way. And if you read the spelling of Ashevillean, the back half is villains. So I don't know. Maybe like Asheville citizens. I don't know. Yes, the picture is beautiful. With winter on the way, whether you like it or not, we couldn't resist peeping at some of the major weather trends headed our way. Thanks to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Climate Prediction Center, we know what temperatures and precipitation trends are expected for December, January, and February. While exact weather conditions like snowfall typically can't be predicted more than a week in advance, accurate seasonal outlooks can help communities prepare for what winter will bring. Here's what's coming to our city. Temperature. Think warm. This winter, there is a 40 to 50% chance that Asheville's temperatures will be higher than normal, possibly a 50 to 60% chance. That kind of stinks. The reason I'm sounding down, I know Dr. J likes snow, but does not like snow, does not like the cold. I like it. And I mentioned this, we've talked about this already. It's going to be winter, in for a penny, in for a pound. Let it snow. Let's get all into it and let's enjoy it. Let's go sledding. Let's go skiing. Let's do some fun stuff. Let's take some cool pictures. And let's be in winter time, but don't fart around and have rain and 37. That stinks. When it's freezing cold, it's rainy, but it's not snowing. That just is, ugh. I'd rather it snow. Precipitation, let it snow. Asheville's precipitation levels are predicted to be around normal. Okay. By the month, December, Asheville's average low temperature in December is 33.8. Might see some more days this year closer to the average high temperature, 48.4. December is the month with the most rainfall, 3.5 inches over 10 rainfall days. The snowiest month with 4.2 inches over 2 days. January. That's interesting that December is snowier than January, even though 21 days of the month of December are actually in autumn, not winter. Asheville's lows in January, 27.7 with highs of 44.1. January tends to be Asheville's coldest month. With the chance of higher temperatures this season, we might see warmer days. February. Historically, February gets a little warmer in Nashville with an average low temperature of 31.6, high temperature of 48.9. Expect to be close to these highs. The average amount of sunshine on a February day in Nashville is 6.9 hours. And that's what I'm remembering. February, other than some birthdays and some fun stuff, is kind of like one of my least favorite months as far as the year, because as they mentioned there, it's a little too warm. Like, we don't get much snow in February, but it's still cold, but there's no blooming yet. So you're just in this weird, I don't know. I don't dislike it. I'm not talking about I'd rather be in Florida. I still prefer the cooler weather and everything. I'm just saying, February is still full on winter. In fact, it's right smack dab in the middle of winter. I wish it would be fine if it snowed. You predict snow. Okay. Good. Yes. I'm a heat miser. Oh, okay. I read that for a minute. Meat miser. I'm like, well, I like meat too. We were talking about turkey and ham and chicken and all that. No, you're a heat miser. You like the warm weather. And yeah. So, but the good thing is, like I've said before, we're kind of still in the South. So it's not like we get like Minnesota or type stuff like that. One good snow and get it over with. Bring on the spring, right? Rita, you might like where Foxy lives then. She doesn't probably get snow, but you definitely escape the winters when you get down that far south. All right. Article number 2. This is a long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. The reason I brought it up is because we were talking about Dollywood. This is titled, "Want to see 5 million gleaming holiday lights? Visit Dollywood Smoky Mountain Christmas." Aside from, so I need to make the point, aside from kind of the terrible day as far as crowds, if you sift that away, you can tell that it's a beautiful setup. They did a great job. I will make one other comment. Unfortunately, it is kind of negative, or on the not positive side for Dollywood. Forget about eating or drinking. I was parched after walking that mile, and we forgot to bring. You're not supposed to bring water in, but I didn't have any in the car. It was just something I had missed. I drink a good bit of water during the day, and I was so thirsty when we got in the park, and the lines for all the places to eat or drink. Now, we had already eaten, but just to fill our souvenir cups were ridiculous. We found a place kind of near the church, that side of the park, where you could go to the end of the line and just go straight to the fountains and fill up the cups. And I'm like, I don't care if we're supposed to wait in line or not. I got a red cup. I'm not doing anything bad. I don't have to go to the window. I'm filling up my cup. The one in County Fair was closed. It wasn't even open. Dollywood, like a lot of places, is short-staffed. And so, I mean, like, if you wanted to eat and you have a hungry appetite, you are out of luck at a busy day at Dollywood. Be prepared to wait 30 to 45 minutes in a pedestrian line to get food. But aside from that, it was very pretty. So if you can fill your belly and manage the drink situation, I also say that the bathrooms were less than desirable. They just couldn't keep up with them. So they started to look, I don't even want to say like a highway rest stop, because those actually are cleaned a lot. It was like a gas station kind of. But yeah. So anyway, being on the positive side, talking about some nice things, they did a great job with the lights and the theming. They get an A. They get an A on the report card. This season, Smoky Mountain Christmas runs through January 2nd with the glow of more than 5 million lights outlining theaters, shops, restaurants, trees everywhere you look. Even the magnificent Dollywood Express, a 110-ton coal-fired steam engine decked out in lights. In her all too familiar, cheerful Southern drawl, one that you can even hear in a written press release, Dolly Parton says, I hope everyone who visits Dollywood this season experiences the love and joy of a traditional Smoky Mountain Christmas. During their time, we hope they'll laugh, love, and linger as they enjoy the light of the season. We also hope they create those new memories and family traditions they'll share for many years to come. I mean, their heart's in the right place. It's certainly a beautiful place to be. And I'm seeing some of the comments out of the corner of my eye. I'll get to those in just a second. With a short window of time left in the Dollywood season, the park's last day is January 2nd, will reopen for 2022 season on March 12th, ahead of the Flower and Food Festival on April 22nd. It's important to make the most of your visit. That might mean waiting in a couple of lines at the beginning, but it will pay off in the end. If you need a stroller, book in advance. We always bring a stroller. But if you flew in, I guess. Here's another suggestion the article had. You don't necessarily need to show up right when the park opens. If your younger child get tired or they won't make it through the entire day, go a little later. They won't be too tired when it gets dark. After dark is when 5 million lights really glisten. You can even see snow at Wonderful Christmas, an LED light show that happens at the plaza in Wilderness Pass and tells a story through images. That's the tree right there. They're talking about. It uses the snow, the fake snow. It's basically like soapy foam, but it's still cool. The only thing about that little caveat there, if I was to tell those people from the article, if you're paying for a day pass and you're not showing up, but just to see the lights, that's very expensive. If you are a season pass holder, that's great advice. It was really cool because the park didn't open until 2 p.m. the day we went, and that's perfect because we are not good at being early risers, and then we have to drive over there and we hit the traffic. We actually didn't get to the park till 3:30, 4 o'clock, I think. Just because of everything that was going on that day. There were fireworks. We did see them when we came out of the theater. Pretty cool. I know they do that because Disney does that. Me personally, again, a subjective opinion, fireworks to me just feels like summertime. I don't know. They're still cool any time of the year. They really are. But like, it felt weird. Like the lights, the songs, everything, the smells, all Christmas, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, July 4th, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't think that the fireworks are necessary, but people enjoy them. And they need to do it because Disney World does it, and they're constantly trying to compete with the large theme parks. Wait till, you know, it says your kids can get impatient when hungry. Absolutely. Don't we all? So plan to eat at off times when the waits are shorter and make reservations at the full service restaurant, Front Porch Cafe, and Aunt Granny's restaurant. Well, I see one comment here about Aunt Granny's. I'll have to get to that in a second because we've been there several times. There was no off times and a busy day. And the problem with the lights is they are so popular, and the month of December is so, Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge in general are just getting more and more and more popular. And I mean, with the exception of maybe like January 15th to like March 1st, maybe an off season, maybe in italic letters, which Dollywood's not even open. It's so packed. Like, I did feel that Dollywood in the spring was a lot better. The crowds were quite a bit less. It was very nice. And we didn't go much in the deepest summer because of the heat. Let me get to your comments because I know there's been several here. Ohio's too cold for me. Been freezing. Yes, no snow, no rain, only dry heat and bugs down there in South Georgia. I love Dollywood, but it's been crazy this year. Yes, the food trucks at Dollywood had helped some with the food and drinks. Yeah, I don't know on this day, but I do agree with that. I have been in the snow in Middle Georgia, but in 15 years, no snow in South Georgia. When I lived in Central Florida, we did get snow one year. One morning, I got enough off the ground to make a snowball, and I put it in the freezer for like 2 years. This is no joke. It was kind of almost like ice snow, to be honest with you, but it did. This would have been 2008, I believe, give or take a year. We waited 3 hours to be seated at Aunt Granny's. So the times I've gone to Aunt Granny's, we used to go there all the time. But I'll honestly say the last time I went there, the prime roast beef or whatever is super dry. And I asked the guy about it. I was like, hey, this is dry. You got another batch? He's like, we make it all like that. That's why we bring the dipping sauce. I'm like, okay. And I get it. The fried chicken's good and some of the fixins, but it's expensive, the restaurant. So we have started to go with a different plan where we go to Golden Corral or somewhere else before we go to the park. We go to the park with full bellies, maybe get a snack, maybe not. And then when we leave the park, we'll get something else. So we have, but at the beginning of the year, every time we went to Aunt Granny's, and we'll be back. But that's exactly right. You got to go up, you got to put your name in, and then they text you. The few times we've been there, it's been about an hour and a half, but we didn't go at Christmas. The time you were there, Pastor Dan and Kim, around Thanksgiving or a little bit earlier in November, yeah, it can be a long wait. But the good news is they'll text you, and that's. But the hard thing about that is you're always kind of like hovering. It's like, oh, I don't want to go too far because when they text me, I don't want to lose my spot, so I don't want to be out in Fairyland or whatever. I forget what it's called, Wildwood Grove. When I got to walk a mile. We go to Lights Under Louisville. It's a mega cave, and you drive through 17 miles of lights, 4 million lights and 900 displays. Beautiful. Sounds awesome. We waited for 3 hours to be seated, but the lights were beautiful. Yes, they are. We love Christmas in the Smokies show. It's fantastic. They do a good job. If you can find a day, I think the best thing to probably do is if anybody was able to go on a random middle of the weekday in early December, like a December the 9th or 8th or 6th or something like that. Part of the staffing problem is fall of Dollywood. I live close enough that I had thought about applying working there. They had not adjusted any of the pay to encourage more applicants. Pardon me. That's true. If they're not going to have competitive pay, especially in this market, that's like a buyer's market for, I say buyer's market, meaning the employee can be very choosy about where they want to work. If they're not competitive, then yeah, that's going to be an uphill battle. You only go part of the 30 miles. Okay. Off-Road Adventures put up a video about the Lights Under Louisville. Okay, that's cool. And Larry has a video. The problem with Cedar Point, you would know better than anybody, Larry, is that's a wild card that time of the year. I mean, it is right on Lake Erie. I mean, it could be, it could be a solid sheet of ice or something in the park, and the liability of somebody slipping and falling or snow. How many inclement days if they don't get the return on the investment and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty deep right there, being up by Lake Erie. That's my guess. It's just not practical. Mega Caverns open all year, rope climbing and other activities. Oh, very nice. It's diverse. Lots of different things. I do just like Mr. Mountain, buy a loaf of bread and some lunch meat. I haven't eaten any food worth waiting for 3 hours. So I went to Food City and I had a aggressive appetite, and I went to their deli and I'm like, I'm going to get something. They had deli meat and deli cheese in small portions. Not like prepackaged, like from a factory, like they had done like quarter pound or something like that. And I'm like, this is great. And then I went over and got some bread, and I just sat in the parking lot because the kids had gotten McDonald's or something, and my wife, I had gotten a salad from the grocery, and I just like made 2 sandwiches and ate them. That was after Dollywood, and we're talking about like 10:30 at night. But yeah. But beforehand, we went to Golden Corral that day. Love to see the light under Louisville. Yeah, we talked about McAdenville, North Carolina last week. That was the one, I believe it's off I-85 when I looked it up, that I got in the smog traffic about 16, 17 years ago with my wife before we had kids. And it was not a fully pleasant experience. This was a drive through off the interstate through the town. But by the time I got in there, because we had waited so long in line, it was like on a Sunday night. We just picked a bad day. You went with Will, Don, Chris, and Mindy. That is cool. Hey, Mr. Carlos, we were talking about you earlier, wondering where you were, and glad that you are here. Welcome to the live stream. Getting towards the tail end, but glad you made it. That I do not know. Maybe Rita knows. I don't actually. It's Smoky Mountain Opry. I'm thinking of like the one in Nashville, but that's the Grand Ole Opry. Where's the Smoky Mountain? Is that Pigeon Forge? Maybe Dr. J knows. No rides for that. Just lights would be neat. But yeah, you're right. It could be hard to do. Yeah, it's just the weather. I want to do the Newport Harbor lights. They have all the boats decorated, I think. Ooh, cool. Lots of cool lights this time of the year. Lots of cool lights. Third article, making the cut, where and how to choose a Christmas tree around Asheville. Do you all get a real tree or a fake tree? We do fake tree. Always have. I would love to have a real tree. Why don't we do it? Don't ask me. I don't have an answer. You know, I love this pine right here and everything is awesome. I don't know why, but we don't do it. So yeah. But look at that right there. That's pretty cool. The Boyd Mountain Christmas Tree Farm. Can you see in the background, like all the little trees there? This is another long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it just talks about it's because a lot of these trees actually are grown in Western North Carolina. We're in the heart of like where these things are. So it's an annual holiday ritual for many, loading up the car and heading out to the farm or local lot and choosing the family Christmas tree. In Western North Carolina, it's easier in most places. It stays home to 1,300 Christmas tree growers, producing the iconic Fraser fir on an estimated 40,000 acres. Grown all over Western North Carolina, the state's Christmas tree industry is second in the nation in number of trees harvested, producing more than 20% of the country's Christmas trees and sending more than a dozen to be the top tree in the nation at the White House. Ooh, that's cool. So the Asheville or Western North Carolina local looking to find a top shelf tree doesn't have to travel far. One of the favorites is Boyd Mountain Christmas. That's the one there. Where owner David Boyd says they expect to sell as many 3,000 trees on Thanksgiving weekend this year, traditionally the busiest weekend of the year. Accounting for typically a family of four, he says that probably 12,000 people who will come to the farm November 26th to 29th. It led the farm to close after November 29th in 2020, Boyd said, saying it's a cycle every year of supply and demand. And when they closed early last year, the farm had only about 5,000 trees available. That's up to 7,000 there this year, he said. While the farm is out of 11 to 12 foot trees and taller, there's still plenty in the popular 6 to 9 foot range. North Carolina Tree Association keeps a catalog of both choose and cut farms and retail lots where the festive North Carolinian can find their perfect tree. Some of those farms, including both in Buncombe County is where Asheville is, offer you choose you cut options and other just you choose we cut option, but the key is in the choosing. Buncombe County is home to a couple of farms and multiple retail options. And for the family looking to make a bit of a drive, Western North Carolina offers plenty of options for the enterprising Christmas tree hunter. Boyd offered a couple of tips before you go, including bringing a pickup truck and some helping hands. It's not like it's a pumpkin patch. Picking, cutting, buying, baling, and loading a Christmas tree. If you can load it up yourself after you cut it, you can save as much as an hour of waiting in line for the farm staff to do it for you. Boyd's Christmas tree farm is in Waynesville. Their trees run between $10 and $20 per foot. Customers can saw their own tree, Boyd says, but staff are also in the field ready to cut it, pick it up, and bring it to the baler, tie it on your vehicle. He said a food truck is handling cider, hot chocolate, crepes, and donuts. And over Thanksgiving weekend, Santa will be on hand. There's also Sandy Holler Farms, which is in Leicester. And there is a Mahaffey Tree Farm in Waynesville also. And the farm charges $75 to $200 for top quality trees ranging from 5 to 9 and 10 feet tall. I remember a few years ago, there was, because of the number of years it takes to grow the trees, I remember they were, this is probably past that now, but the financial crisis of 2008, when the economy was really bad, tree farms weren't able to plan as much because of going out of business or whatever. So the financial crisis plus the 8 or 9 years it takes to grow the trees, there was a soft year because you're not looking at your year. Obviously, trees don't grow in 1 year. You're looking at, it's like looking at a star. You're looking at, years ago. And so that was just an interesting little tidbit about that. Let me see what you guys are all saying. I did ask about Pigeon Forge. Oh, talking about the Smoky Mountain Opry. Oh, that's right. Okay. We swapped back and forth, but ended up just using the fake one every year. I will say this about the fake one. And I had seen something at Dollywood I really liked. Two things. One, we do not have a pre-lit Christmas tree, and I don't know why. I have to string up the lights every year, and I'm the one who does it. It's like an art. Been doing it since I was a kid. It's a lot of work, but it's great when you're done. I think my next tree will be a pre-lit tree, and not only that, I saw going through the cave by the train at Dollywood, they had some pre-lit trees or lit trees. They have these LEDs, but they're these like tiny LEDs. The dynamic that those tiny LEDs do versus the regular bulb size was really cool. The smaller LED lights, they were white, looked awesome. It was I was like, if I have to replace the lights on the tree, I want to get those little. I'd almost call them like mini LEDs or micro LEDs, but maybe they're intended for a smaller tree, and Dollywood just had the means to buy lots and lots of them. But the way it looked, it was really cool. Rising Sun, Indiana at the Hotel Casino has Santa's 8 reindeer on 24/7 live stream. I watch them being fed almost every day at the crack of dawn. That is super cool. There's a good use of a live stream. Graduation outfit for his graduation from obedience school. Oh, and the picture. I do fake trees. I used to live live trees. They're pain to take care of and dangerous. Rather be safe than sorry. Interesting. Is that the fire hazard on them still, that because they're dry? Or is it something else, like maybe they fall over on somebody? We just got a beautiful Fraser fir from North Carolina Saturday. We decorated it today. That is cool. We used to use a real tree until we moved in the new house. Now I don't have room for big trees, so we have a little pencil tree. The kids hate. Yeah, you should decorate the twig, right? I should put like this is the Charlie Brown tree right here, literally, and it's like falling off the. It should make. I just watched that, the Charlie Brown Christmas, and when the bristles fall off, it makes this little like sound when they fall off. That's what I imagine. When we moved to North Carolina years ago, the big name for trees was Booger Mountain trees. No kidding. That's their name. Cool. Booger Mountain. That's where I'd get my tree. I like to go look at other people's decorating, but I'm not much into decorating myself. You have to put it all back anyway. Right. Everything you put up, you got to put down. It is a big event around here. I love it when it's done, but it's like no joke, it's like a week-long effort here. Like, we don't put up the decorations in one day. Like, one day's the main tree, then we have decorations all over the house, and then I've got like 2 huge things of lights to put outside. I haven't done it yet. I ran out of time this weekend. I used to go to town at Walmart on like December 28th when I'd be shopping at the store, and they'd come over the loudspeaker and be like, all of our Christmas is 80% off. Shwoom. I would just go over there and buy tons of stuff for pennies on the dollar. And so we have all these cool Christmas decorations. They don't go bad or anything. I did that for several years, and now we have a lot of Christmas decorations. Didn't decorate outside this year. My parents never liked to decorate outside. They would put up candles in the window and a spotlight on the front door with a wreath and call it a day. I guess because we didn't do it, I enjoy doing it. I mean, it's harder and harder to find the time, but I love the outcome. Those are micro LEDs. So they are called micro LEDs. Okay. Yes. Those lights we have on our tree are the rice lights on our tree. We got ours at Lowe's. Rice or micro LEDs. Cool. They're beautiful. They really are neat. Live trees get dry too fast. They always did for me. Yeah, I know. Cause you got to water them to keep them up and stuff. I would always see them at the curb, when I used to, especially when I had a paper route growing up, and you'd always see the tree out like December 27th on the curb. One of my gripes about LED lights, I love LEDs in general, the cost savings and everything else like that. But versus, I don't even know, would you say incandescent or whatever the old school type are? The old school type are softer. If you look at the color lights, or the white lights, they have a soft glow, which to me, Christmas should be soft and gentle and pleasant. The LED ones are so vibrant and so boom. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but we have like the color LED lights for the tree, and they are just super bright and super vibrant. I would like a little softer tone in the old type do, but I'm not going to change them out. I like that they're more energy efficient. In fact, they're getting harder to find the old school type. I was at Walmart and it's like 2 to 1 now, the LEDs. And also, why do they have to be on white strands? Like, okay, for outside, I get it, kind of. When I do the icicles, they're on white, but everything else green. Unless you have a white Christmas tree, you need a green strand because it hides the light. So I was at Walmart and they have every color light on white strand. I don't just, it's going to look weird if you put that in a green bush. The I don't know. Call me crazy. You need a white Christmas tree for that. One of those fake white Christmas trees. Our lights are clear or multicolored, or they alter between both. Ooh, cool. Yes, like, could you change it? Yesterday, a neighbor put up a bunch of giant inflatable Star Wars decorations for Christmas. Took up his whole lawn. Maybe I'm getting too old, but I like the more traditional decorations. We have a couple of blowups. I saw somebody on Facebook who did have one of those like Millennium Falcons that was down in Florida. But we had like a Snoopy and a Mickey Christmas. They were kind of small, but the kids really liked it. I'm with you though. Like, the other thing about those blow up things, they're a pain. When the wind blows, they blow around, they come undone. I'm the one who always has to fix them. They never balance right. So they're kind of a pain. Yeah, I like the more traditional decorations. Yeah, we have a little eclectic mix right now. Eclectic. We have like regular lights. We have one of those sparkly lights that goes on the front of the house, I think. Oh, by the way, those little sparkly lights that the kind of the you've seen them in the last 10 years, put one of those on the inside of the house on like a wall, like where the fireplace or some other wall, maybe the kitchen. Those things are cool. That is a really cool decoration in the house. My parents loved it when they were here. The kids like it. I like it. You think only do it outside, but put it on a table and point it towards a wall, like maybe near the Christmas tree. Those things are really cool. I have a minion blow up. Yes, cool. I like traditional. I like the inflatable because they are huge, but it will fit in the attic. That's another good point. I guess they're practical from that sense because when they squeeze down, they get small. So, yeah. So anyway, we didn't cut a tree, but some year I'd like to do it. But one thing I'm learning about it is it's not like the Christmas movies growing up where people would put up a tree on like December 22nd. Forget about it. Like like that article said, and what I've seen in the past, the tree lots will be closed by December 5th. They're out of trees. Nobody has trees. This is truly the case of the early bird gets the worm. You better get there and get that Christmas tree if you're into live trees, or it's not happening. But you watch it growing up. Maybe some of you all had that experience. Did you guys are there families like 20, 30, 40 years ago that would be like, oh, we didn't put up the tree till December 20th and we get a real one? But times have changed. Like now, everybody, you better go out day after Thanksgiving and get one and keep it till the day after Christmas Day or something like that. Maybe that's point for the fake ones. Last but not least, speaking of weather, check out our Western North Carolina weather. If you look at the lows, pretty cool tonight, 27. That's below average for this time of the year. Then it creeps back up into the 60s. Look at that on Friday, high 66. But those are those weird days where it'll be 66 at 3:30, 4 o'clock p.m. And then 2 hours later at 6 p.m., the sun goes down and it'll be 48 degrees. And so it changes rapidly. Saturday, that's interesting. I have to keep an eye on that 33 with the rain, only a very low chance, but that could be snow. And it could certainly be snow at higher elevations. So anyway, that is the news and notes for the week of November the 29th, 2021. All right. Well, folks, let's wrap it up. A couple more comments. I've been on for 1 hour, 43 minutes, 58, 59, 60, 144. Counting out. A few years back, I had a live cedar tree and I was July 4th still picking dead cedar needles out of my carpet. Right. Maybe it smelled good though. Like, we got the pine here. So, we always get a little present. They're all over my desk. Like literally, like every time I move it for the live stream, I've got like I'm sitting here cleaning them off. I've got like 4 or 5 in my hand right now, these things. Really fun live stream tonight, full of interesting conversation. I appreciate it, Rita. And always great having all the good people here. Traditional here as well for decorations. I think everybody's kind of got that same deal. I tell you one thing, we have a little bit of deck railing and I like to put the icicles on them. But the deck clamps I have literally dig into the wood. So I'm thinking this year of eclectic handyman tip, but it's not really that clever. I need to get some long zip straps, like really long, to go through and then zip strap. That will mean I'll need to cut each one with the wire straps, but that's less invasive and they won't dig in. And if I get clear, so I need to go on Amazon or something and get like, I don't know, I need to measure with a tape measure. I probably need to get like an 18-inch clear, a bag of clear zip straps. And then I can put those icicles on the deck without those clips. Those clips are really good, but if you've ever used them before, they're so sharp, they will chew into the wood. I saw ski areas in Maggie Valley and Beach Mountain have already made snow and are open. Woohoo! That's cool. I would love to get into skiing. I've been saying that for years. I did it once as a kid in Ohio, and I absolutely loved it. It's one of the few things in my life I did that I really enjoyed and haven't done again. And now I live in a great place to do it, and I want to try it again. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Great live stream. As always, great live stream. We look forward to chatting with you all. Best part of Mondays. That is the truth. We finish it off with a bang around here. Nice to have you back, Kentucky girl. Glad that you are back. Great night. Wonderful week, Mr. Mountain Man, everyone. God bless you all. We appreciate that. Safe travels, Larry, for sure. Yes, 3 weeks before you're back at Christmas. Everybody have safe travels. Like I mentioned, when we were going to Tennessee, the roads are super busy. Have a dose of patience. Just give the other person the benefit of the doubt, and just be safe in the holiday season. I hope you can make it next week, Mr. Mountain. We understand. I can guarantee you I will not. Thank you for bringing that up, Rita. I appreciate that. I will not be on next Monday. And I've got, I will not be on next Monday, and I apologize about that, guys. So, I will try to bring you some, shorts though. I'll try to bring you some shorts on the channel, and we will pick it up 2 weeks from now. I would say next week, the chance I do a live stream. No, I don't. 1%. It's going to be low. I'm sorry, guys. But thank you for bringing that up, Rita, and reminding me, because I did mention that before. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy this holiday season. Be safe. We'll keep in touch via Instagram and on YouTube. And thanks again for all the regulars showing up. You all take care. Glad everybody had a Thanksgiving and a good night. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.